What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the walkthrough. We got an action-packed episode for you today. We're going to be slaying lots of dragons. We're going to be going here to the Dragon Pit Terminus, doing this entire Jagged Peak area, culminating with what is possibly one of the best boss fights in the game, at least one of my favorites. It's going to be great. So here we go, Dragon Pit Terminus. I've been saving this place more till the end of the game, largely because in my first playthrough, I found this boss to be one of the hardest bosses in the game. In fact, I would probably say this is the second hardest boss in my opinion. So wanted to save this for later on in the game. This is actually going to be kind of the last piece of side content before we move on to, move on towards the end game sequence. So very good. Looking forward to it. We're gonna have ourselves a good time today. All right, so we fought a dragon here already. If you remember, we fought a battle here, and then we went south to the Dragon Priestess. The Dragon Priestess, as I mentioned, has a fork in her quest line. You can give her the Tialier concoction or not. If you choose not to give her the concoction, which is what I suggest, you're going to have this item in your inventory here. This is the Ancient Dragon's Blessing. What it does is it increases all damage negation. We're going to use it for the final boss fight of this area. And if you use it and lose, you can go back to the priestess for another one, so long as you have not given her the concoction. If you give her the concoction, she will no longer give these to you. So again, another reason why I suggest not giving her the concoction. And giving her the concoction or not, really all it does is it dictates what rewards you're going to get at the end of her quest line after we kill the boss here. All right, so what we want, first things first, there's gonna be a cookbook over here that we're going for. And we are going to equip the Dragon Hunter Great Katana because it is extremely, extremely good against dragons, because the special ability has the Dragon Wound status effect pretty much built in. And so I highly suggest it. We're following along this main path. This section is somewhat linear, but it, in my opinion, is peak From Software in terms of them dialing in the atmosphere here. Very well done. Pretty epic, if I do say so myself. All right, so we're going to turn back here towards our beacon. There's going to be a bunch of these skeleton enemies. We're going to run straight past them, pick up our cookbook right here. I believe this allows us to craft hefty red lightning pots. I could be wrong, though. My memory does not serve me correctly. All right, so we're going to go up the Spirit Spring, way, way up here. We have a bunch of this red Fulgur Bloom, which I believe is required for the crafting the red pots. Here we have our next site of grace. We'll go on and rest here. All right, so up here we have a double dragon fight. So you see they're going at each other right now, and you can actually choose to sit here and take the winner, or you can go in and engage early. I'm gonna go on and engage. I'm gonna summon Mimic as well. Buff them up. Heal. And again, the Dragon Wound ability is insanely good against these dragons, especially if you target their head. It is very easy shots on their head if you use the Dragon Wound Slash. And I do suggest, highly suggest, fully charging it up. You will do very insane damage. Especially if you land a direct hit on the head. And the other thing about it is if you do it at close range, the projectile will hit, but then also the slash of your actual weapon will hit as well. So keep that in mind as well. So we almost got this first one taken out, and then we're going to take on the main one with the health bar. Just get him with a normal hit there. Now we're going to focus our efforts on this other one. This is the main boss here, the actual Jagged Peak Drake. Mimic's been doing a number on him already. But yeah, you see there, we did over 5,000 damage. And this is the pretty standard dragon moveset that we all know and love. So straight ahead breath, run to the side. Get closer to the head here. Surprised he hasn't staggered yet. All right, I gotta heal up. Or actually use my blue flask on heal up. All right, is that the stagger? Yep, we're done here. As I said, if you'd rather let them duke it out and take the winner, you can definitely do that. We got a dragon heart and a dragon scale flesh. So what we hear now is Aigon. So we're actually going to carry on with his quest here as well.
Yet foreign to you.
Man, his VA went for it. I love it. So while we were enjoying that dialogue, I just headed south real quick to pick up a dragon Caller Bloom. That's a new type of crafting material in this area.
Grant me this one wish. Take this finger, scale the Jagged Peak, face Bayle the Dread, and when you do, summon me. Summon my soul. My limbs are limbs no more. My heart is twice over filled with fear. But a Drake warrior, and my soul yet lies.
All right, so we get Aigon's furled finger. This allows us to summon him in the boss fight.
Proud scale that summon me.
And that is literally like his dying wish, so. All right, straight ahead, we got a Spirit Spring Jump. We're going to head on up. More of the Dragon's Caller Bloom. We're going to get a recipe that uses that in just a little bit. Here, a bunch of the red Fulgur Bloom, including the pickup here on that corpse. All right, so straight ahead. In this spot, there's going to be 2 rocks that fall down and roll at us. There's only 2, though. So once the second one rolls, you're in the clear. Here's number 1. And then number 2. Of course, just get out of the way so you don't get hit. And here we have another tree fragment. And I said we're going to be fighting a lot of dragons here. There's another one. This is another boss. We're actually going to run past this one for now to get the grace so we can reset our flasks. But we're going to come back for him. Don't you worry. And he's got a lot of lightning based attacks, so it actually would not hurt to equip the lightning talisman, lightning defense talisman. And these dragon skeletons here have the sharp gravel stone on them. So let's grab the grace. While we're at it, there's a cookbook like right here. So let's go ahead and grab that. All right, Aigon's cookbook 2. And this one allows us to craft the Dragon Communion Flesh, which that gives you an attack power boost at the expense of a slow HP drain. And I believe that one uses... Yes, it uses the Dragon's Caller Bloom and the Sharp Gravel Stone, which we've been picking up. Both of those. Alright, so we're going to go back and fight our dragon here. And he does have some of the standard dragon moves. He attacks with his wings a lot to his front side. He has a lot of lightning-based attacks, so I am going to go ahead and throw on the... take off this. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to throw on the Bolt Drake Talisman +3. And once we get the opportunity, we're going to summon Mimic. Oh, I did not rest at the Grace. I was wondering why. Normally there's a pillar there that I guess he must have taken it out. But we didn't rest at the Grace, so I don't have my stuff back. I knew that looked funny. My bad, guys. That was the whole point for us going to the Grace. There we go. Much better. And can I level up? Alright, I'll take the level 30 in mind. Get that extra FP. It'll help us in this case because we are using pretty much exclusively our special skill. Because it does hit very, very hard on these dragons. Here you go. Yeah, I noticed when this rock column was gone that I probably didn't rest because this is where I summon Mimic before I aggro the boss. Gonna buff. So yeah, those lightning strikes can hit you. Oh, missed. So he has his lightning bolts that he shoots. Pretty big AoE there. Nope, keep missing. There we go. See, look at that. That damage is insane. Ah, man. Keep that health topped off. He can hit you for a hefty amount of damage. Oh! Did not dodge that. That's fine. Alright, so watch where the lightning's at on the ground. And there are AoEs associated with it, unfortunately. So double lightning spear stab into the ground. Big AoEs there. Keep that health topped off. There was a sands on the ground with a lightning effect. I'm going to go in and top off my blue. A couple more hits should get him. I'm just going to attack his legs here. There we go. All right, not too bad. And for all that, you get 200 runes and an ancient dragon smithing stone and a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. Since we already have the Grace, I'm just going to warp back up there. All right, so now we're going to follow this main path, kind of headed westward. A bunch of dragon corpses on the ground here. Some of these have the loot. And these lightning strikes in the environment can hurt you if you're not careful. Look at this. This is so cool. All right, so up the Spirit Spring. Follow this path. And right here, the path kind of splits off. So this way, that the upper route is the main route forward. We actually are going to drop down. I'll pick up this Vulgar Bloom. Go all the way down here. So right here is the solution to one of the paintings we picked up. Go. And this is the painting that we picked up in Shadow Keep. So if you remember, there was the spot towards the beginning where there were like boats that were on fire. A bunch of the militiamen were around there, and there's a ladder that we dropped down that took us to the painting, and that is a solution. So we got the rock heart. What this does is if you strip down, you can use it, and it boosts your. It turns you into like a dragon form, and it boosts your dragon communion spells. We just dropped back down, went back up the Spirit Spring. Now we're gonna take the main path. Hook to the left. Stay on the upper path. And that's gonna take us to another Spirit Spring that we're gonna ride up. Just make sure you're looking out for the lightning bolts and make sure that you're jumping over. There's a couple gaps here that you have to jump over. There's one. There's a second one. And we're at our next Spirit Spring. So this one, we're only gonna go halfway up. So you notice there's that one you can go all the way up. Well, if you turn to the left, kind of northeast, there's another cliff you can land on that's not all the way up. You go all the way down here. Got a somber ancient dragonsmith stone, another one. To max out another somber based weapon. So we're gonna drop down the Spirit Spring, and now we're gonna go all the way up. So again, what we did here is we kind of, when we jumped up this the first time, we hooked to the left, but now we're going more to the right to go all the way up the cliff. Go down through this cave, all the way at the end. We have ourselves another ancient dragon smithing stone. So lots of high tier smithing stones in this area. We've gotten like 4 or 5 of them just in this short amount of time. This is the main path. We're going back up. A bunch of the crafting up here. The dragon's Caller Bloom. Stuff is fairly rare. So if you look back around, this is where we dropped off. You can drop off here, and this is where we got the smithing stone just a second ago. So there's no need to go back down there. So we're going to go up the Spirit Spring. And this is where we're going to fight Bayle the Dread, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of my favorite fights in this game. It's one of my favorite fights in all of Souls. It's probably the best dragon fight in all of Souls. I haven't thought that all the way through yet, but it might be. It might just be my favorite dragon fight in all of Souls, which is saying a lot because there's quite a few of them. Okay, so now once we go through there, we're going to fight Bayle. So we got the item that is required to summon Igon. The summon for, or it's Egon, I think his name, is right inside the fight. So once Bayle triggers, you summon him inside. And so since his summon sign is inside the arena, I do not think it boosts the boss's HP. And of course, we're also going to summon Mimic. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to throw on the Flame Drake Talisman. Because Bayle does a lot of lightning attacks. He also does a lot of fire-based attacks. So we are going to be summoning Egon because it is for his quest line, and he has some of the best dialogue in the game. So definitely worth your while to summon Egon for this fight, to give him his dying wish to take on Bayle the Dread. And also we're going to throw on the Dragon Blessing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk in, trigger the fight, back away, summon Egon, summon Mimic, buff up, and then engage the fight. He has a lot of very powerful moves. He has, you know, some of the same physical attacks that you're used to where he attacks with like his claws. He has some fire breath attacks. He has an attack where he'll lunge at you. That's his grab attack. That attack does a lot of damage. So if you can recognize that attack, dodge out of the way. I kind of dodged forward and to the left through it. Second phase is when we're going to use the blessing. Second phase happens at about half health. So we're going to use the blessing for the second phase because he has a lot of very powerful lightning and fire-based AoEs. So it's going to be more useful to us in the second phase, I believe. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go on in. So Igon's summon sign, it's going to be right around here. I don't think you can summon him before the boss shows up. So once the boss shows up, summoning him is going to be priority 1. So there we go. Boss, go back. There's a summon sign.
Curse you, Bayle!
Oh, that's his grab attack that I was... He led off with that. I barely survived that. That's insane. But he caught me while I was summoning Mimic, unfortunately. All right, so now I'm going to wait till the aggro shifts. I'm going to pop my flasks. Physic flask. Do flame grant me strength. And then it's going to be more of the same, targeting the head, using the Dragon Wound slash fully charged. And you see Bayle is almost at 3/4 health already. So with Mimic and with Egon, this fight is not too bad. Really, the main risk is getting them both in. As you can see, I almost got taken out. So this is the transform to a second phase. Big AoE right there. You want to stay away from him. He's going to fly in the air and shoot fireballs at you. Just run to the side and you'll dodge the fireballs. And then he's going to charge at you. If you can keep your eye on him, it's harder to do than it looks. But if you keep your eye on him, you can time that dodge roll through his dive bomb attack there. But again, he's going to be shooting fireballs in the air. Just run to the side. And again, there are some of those AoEs. Look at that. That's insane. And as I said, use the Dragon's Blessing during his transform animation. If you can. One of the best fights in the game. Easy. One of the best fights in all of Souls. So good. You see that was a big AoE. He does this fire where he'll shoot 2 beams. There's the first, there's the second. I missed the dodge on both of them. That's why I have my talismans equipped, honestly. Our big roar causes a lightning strike. So yeah, he's super aggressive in his second phase. So the summons are helping us out pretty enormously. Fire, AoE. Almost got him. Do a big lightning strike there. Big explosion. That's pretty much the same thing that he opens up his second phase with. If you notice, there are dragon heads on him. And that's actually, if you remember when we talked to the Dragon Priestess.
Bayle the Dread! You shall haunt me no longer!
Give him a bow. You fought valiantly, my friend. So if you notice that there were dragon heads on him, because when we talked to the Dragon Priestess, she mentioned that he took on Placidusax, the Dragon Lord that we fought in the base game. And those are actually 2 of Placidusax's heads. And you notice he has some damage on his wings as well. That is also scars from that fight. So Bayle and Placidusax fought each other, and they both bear the scars of that battle. Very cool to pay attention to. Very cool for the lore as well. So now that we've done that, let's level up. I mean, I'll go ahead and take strength up. Why not? And now that the fight is over, I'm going to change my equipment back here. Put the my normal greatsword back on, and then I'll put on the Crusade insignia along with the 2-handed talisman. There we go. Take the blessing off as well. All right, very cool fight. I mean, it's just the atmosphere, the music, the boss itself, just so intense, so amazing. A+. That is why we play these games. So, very well done. All right, so I can actually get another level. I didn't notice I could take 2, so let's put that in strength as well. Here we go. So I'm ready to go back to Egon. And he has fulfilled his destiny. So if you remember, this is back where we fought the double dragon fight earlier in the episode. Straight ahead. He has lived his life, accomplished what he set out to accomplish, so he can die a happy man. All right, so we got his great bow and his armor, as well as his bell bearing. All right, so now what we're going to do is go back to the Dragon Priestess. I mentioned there's a fork in her quest line you can choose to give her Tialie's concoction or not. We covered that in an earlier episode. We chose to not give her the concoction because if we had not killed Bayle yet, let's say if you die to Bayle, you can actually go back to her. If you use that blessing, you can get another one of the blessings if you do not give her the concoction. So since we did not give her the concoction, we get the Priestess Heart and the Flowerstone Gavel. The Flowerstone Gavel is a weapon. The Priestess Heart is another item that transforms you into a dragon. It boosts your ancient dragon spells if you use it. The other path, you get her Spirit Ashes and you get a spell that boosts defense in battle. All right, so now what we can do is a reward for killing Bayle is we get Bayle's Heart. So we can now do Communion with Bayle. You can pick one of the two spells. You cannot get both in one playthrough. If you want both of them, you have to do multiple playthroughs. Both very powerful arcane-based spells. Okay, so now that we've taken care of that, we are going to march on to the end game. So you remember in the Shadow Keep, we went down the elevator in the storehouse, and then that took us to this area, the West Rampart. So we go down this bridge. This is kind of one of the last major areas of the game. This is what will progress the story path for us. So we're going to go down here and then do a couple things, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. So you can't open the main double doors. You got to go through this side door. There's a bunch of loot on this bridge along with some bats, and there is an elite kind of Fire Knight enemy at the end of the bridge that's going to pester us along the way. That's Beast's Liver. Oh, come on. And I'm going to intentionally be keeping my health pretty much topped off all the way down, and you'll see why in a minute. So once you pass a certain point, you'll be within range. And this is the Fire Rain incantation. And you can hide under these archways. And then you see that when the hands are in the air, the rain comes down. When the hands are down, the rain stops. But you can take refuge under these archways and just heal up when you need to. Wait for the hands to go down. Then run to the next arch pretty much, picking up all the stuff along the way. I mean, you're going to take some hits. This is really going to suck for no-hit runs. I'm sure people have already figured it out. But I can imagine this being a problem, especially since it's at the end of the game. Very annoying to deal with. Open up with a special. And then on the recovery, do a charged heavy. And make quick work. So for doing this, we get Salza's Hood, which I believe boosts your intelligence, and the Rain of Fire incantation. Alright, got the Somber 9 there. And we have ourselves an elevator. We're going to take it up. All right, so a couple things we're going to grab here. We'll rest the grace. So behind this building that we're currently in, and it's late day, so I'm going to warp it to morning. Find this building that we're currently in. There's an item, and there's an elevator right here. So we're going to get the item, and then that's basically a dead end for us. So we're going to warp back to the Grace after getting the item and then go to the elevator that I just marked off. This is for a golden horn tinder. Whoop. There we go. So as I said, dead end. Just warp back. Now we're going to go the other way to the elevator that we marked. And I like to think of this entire area, basically this whole section, is kind of like a dungeon. It's laid out like a legacy dungeon. And the cool part about it is you can ride torrent through the vast majority of it, which makes it a little bit unique in a very good way. All right, pick up the spirit calculus. Now we're going to take the elevator down. Got a bunch of the blood fiends down here. All right, so there is a dog here and then a pathway to our left. We're going to take that in just a minute. There's a bunch of blood fiends down here. You can fight them if you want, but really all we want is the Somber 8. And then we're going to get out of dodge. If you have a big AoE type weapon that can, or attack that can take them out, that's probably the best way to do it since there's so many of them over there. Got a couple more over here. All right, so over here, there's an item. Down here, there's a hippo that we get a Jagged Tree fragment from. Then beast bones. Then go back. Down the stairs here. We got our hippo. You can summon for this fight if you want. Probably should. But I'm already in this thing, so. I think that's his bite, his grab attack. All right, got the stun. And done. All right, got our fragment. So we're going to warp back to the Grace. And then we are going to call it a day here. So my plan, we'll see how this works out, but my plan is to take this entire area out in one episode. It might take an hour and a half to do, but that's what I'm going to shoot for to make it so there's one episode dedicated to that'll take you from start to finish to this area. So what we're going to do from here is we head this direction, and this takes us into like the bulk of the dungeon. Then we go all the way around here out through this bridge and do all this, and there's some other stuff along the way as well. It might be a bit ambitious to do it all in one go, but it might need to be broken out into 2 episodes. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm going to shoot for 1. We'll see how it goes though. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed taking on Bayle the Dread. Such an awesome fight. And more to come. So as I said, we are marching on towards the end game here. So there is more to come, but unfortunately not a whole heck of a lot more. So, but I'm looking forward to wrapping this up. And it's been a blast along the way. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.